Magic Johnson, 5 rings, 3 MVPs, the godfather of Showtime, finally revealed the toughest defender he ever faced.
Who was the toughest defender you ever had to play against?
Oh, man.
The answer stunned everyone. It wasn't Michael Jordan. It wasn't Scottie Pippen. It wasn't Larry Bird. In a league packed with superhumans, the man who turned Magic's confidence into caution was someone most casual fans don't even list in their top 10. What if I told you the defender who haunted Magic's memory wore Boston green, kept him guessing, and anticipated his moves before he even made them? And just when you think that sounds exaggerated, wait till we step into the 1984 NBA Finals and watch how one matchup helped flip an entire series on its head. To really grasp why this revelation hits so hard, you have to understand who Magic was in the 1980s. At 6'9" running point, he was an anomaly in the best way: giant frame, guard handle, court vision that felt supernatural, a showman controlling tempo like a conductor in front of an orchestra. The Showtime Lakers didn't just win, they dazzled. Fast breaks looked choreographed. No, look passes felt like magic tricks. And if you blinked, the game was already over. Magic's resume says it all. 5-time NBA champion, 3-time league MVP, 12-time All-Star, Finals MVP as a rookie, the leader who could shift from point guard to center and drop 42 in a clincher. He's on the NBA's 75th anniversary team. He's the standard for the position. Ask 10 basketball historians for the greatest point guard of all time, and most will give you the same 2 words: Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson is the best point guard in NBA history.
But dominance attracts challengers. Across the decade, the toughest defenders in the world took their shot. Some had length, some had strength, some had speed, many had attitude. And over time, Magic, honest to a fault when revisiting the past, kept a mental list of the ones who truly made him work. He's always been refreshingly candid about that list. No need to protect an image, no need to invent myths. He could easily say, "Nobody ever gave me problems," the way some superstars do. That's not how Magic talks about the game. He celebrates it, especially his toughest battles. Which is why his answer lands like a plot twist. Magic has name-checked the usual killers: Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen rotating in waves, Joe Dumars with that quiet, surgical discipline, and Nate McMillan with long arms and relentless effort.
Joe Dumars, tough, man. Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen.
Those names make sense. But they're not the ones who sit at the top of his personal mountain. In Magic's own recounting, Dennis Johnson was his toughest assignment, big and strong enough to meet him chest to chest while reading the play before it unfolded.
DJ was the toughest from Boston. He was the toughest because he was also big.
And that's not even the most jaw-dropping part, because when you dig into why, you find a defender who didn't just rely on athleticism, he weaponized intelligence, positioning, and anticipation. Dennis Johnson DJ didn't become a legend by accident. He built it one possession at a time. In an era obsessed with fireworks, he was the guard who snuffed the fuse. He wasn't the top scorer, but he was often the most disruptive. Strength in the chest, quick hands at the hips, quicker reads in the head. He won with angles, anticipation, and discipline. He erased first options and baited bad second choices. He guarded bigger than 6'4", timed his jumps, and nudged stars into mistakes without a word. Against Magic, that pressure became surgical. Johnson's preparation and instincts forced basketball's greatest conductor to hesitate. Improvisation felt pre-written because the defender already knew the next bar. In the 1984 Finals, with Los Angeles up 2-1, Johnson asked for the assignment in Game 4. From there, the tenor changed. Boston dragged the series to 7 and took the title, while Magic's output dipped and a cruel, tragic tag followed him into the summer. He later admitted the loss haunted him for months, evidence of how completely DJ dislocated Showtime's rhythm. Zoom out and the resume backs the film. Johnson was a 3-time champion, 79 Sonics, 84, 86 Celtics, the 1979 Finals MVP, and a 9-time All-Defensive selection. Larry Bird called him the best teammate he ever had. He retired among the few guards with more than 15 0 points and 5 0 assists. And he came from nowhere. Bench player in high school, Pepperdine, then Seattle, Phoenix, Boston. If you only read box scores, you'll miss it. The tape shows a guardian who makes greatness cautious, and when greatness gets cautious, series tip. Let's go to the crucible. The 1984 NBA Finals. Celtics versus Lakers. Bird versus Magic. This is the rivalry that didn't just define a decade, it resurrected the league's popularity. And inside that rivalry, Game 4 became a hinge on which the entire series swung. Here's the setup. The Celtics didn't even acquire DJ for Magic originally. They got him because they needed someone to deal with Philadelphia's Andrew Toney, the Boston Strangler. A problem so urgent, it required an immediate defensive cure. DJ arrived in Boston with that assignment in mind, but great defenders adapt to whatever your war demands. By the time the finals came, the Lakers led 2-1. The pressure was already spiking, but then came the moment that rewired the series. DJ went to head coach Casey Jones and asked for the Magic assignment. That wasn't bluster. That was a defender volunteering to stand in front of the fastest train in basketball and refusing to flinch. From that point, the numbers and the vibes told the same story. Magic, who could warp a game with his tempo, was held to a subpar 17 points per game over the last stretch. The swagger of Showtime sputtered. The Celtics clawed back, tied the series, and then took the title in Game 7. They didn't just beat the Lakers, they disrupted their soul. The press even birthed the cruel nickname out of Magic's struggles: Tragic Johnson. And here's where it gets even more shocking. The pain lingered. Magic later admitted he cried for 3 months after that loss, believing he cost his team the championship. That's not an exaggeration for effect. That's a champion taking full responsibility and living with what he couldn't undo. It's also a backhanded tribute to how thoroughly DJ got inside the gears of his game. Ask around those Celtics teams about DJ, and you won't get cliches, you'll get reverence. Larry Bird, a man sparing with compliments, called Dennis Johnson the best I've ever played with in Sports Illustrated.
Do the all-around game. Dennis Johnson is definitely the best player I've ever played with.
Bird also spoke with open frustration about DJ's delayed place in history, saying he was proud of the family and happy for them when DJ finally entered the hall, but disappointed Dennis wasn't there to soak it in himself. Magic's respect was even more laser-focused. As far as I'm concerned, he said, DJ was the greatest defensive player I've ever played against. He didn't hedge. He didn't soften. He called DJ one of the smartest men ever to play the game and admitted that what drove him crazy was how DJ kept him off balance. Always thinking, always second-guessing. This is the unique power of a defender like DJ. You're not just stopping points, you're disrupting rhythm and stealing time. You're forcing a genius to pause long enough for doubt to creep in, and in a final series where momentum is oxygen, DJ turned off the air. That '84 masterpiece wasn't a one-off. Dennis Johnson lived in the biggest moments. Long before Boston Green, he was the Finals MVP in 1979 with the Seattle Supersonics, dropping 32 in a Game 4 overtime win and walking away with the trophy.
I don't even realize that you were named the MVP. What are your feelings?
Right now, I'm ecstatic.
He could score when needed, pass when required, and rebound like a forward. Phoenix saw him anchor their guard play. Boston saw him glue a dynasty together. His legacy is littered with moments that matter. The 1985 Finals Game 4 jumper, the iconic 1987 play where Bird stole the inbounds and fed it to DJ, who cut to the rim for the game winner against the Pistons. Those are the plays that live forever in franchise mythology. They're also proof that DJ did more than clamp down. He closed. And yet somehow DJ was always a little under the radar. Maybe it's because defense rarely goes viral. Maybe it's because the stat sheet never tells the full story, or maybe it's because his journey began so humbly that the league never recalibrated its eyes. In high school, Dennis barely saw the court. At a junior college, he grew literally and figuratively into someone unignorable. Pepperdine took a chance. The pros took notice. Seattle rolled the dice. And the man who grew into an all-time stopper came from a path most future legends never walked. Everything Magic says about DJ, the strength, the smarts, the anticipation, lines up with the career hardware. We're talking 5 All-Star appearances and 9 straight All-Defensive selections, 6 on the first team and 3 on the second. We're talking 3 NBA championships across 2 different organizations. We're talking a resume that doesn't just shine, it holds up to the harshest light. But the most telling measure isn't a plaque or a stat line, it's what the very best say when the cameras aren't asking for a show. When Magic Johnson tells you, "I could never make a mistake against DJ because the man already knew what was coming," that is elite code for, "I met my match." When Larry Bird calls him the best teammate he ever had, that's not sentimentality. That's a scoreboard of trust. And it gets even heavier. The Hall of Fame basketball's official memory made DJ wait not months or years, but over a decade. He passed in 2007, and when the call finally came in 2010, his wife Donna Johnson and his brother Gary Johnson represented him.
Representing Dennis Johnson are his widow Donna and his brother Gary.
What should have been a triumph became bittersweet. Magic called it exactly that, bittersweet, because the man who deserved the microphone never got to hold it. Here's where the story stings new generations the most. Younger fans discovered the 1984 finals, the tragic Johnson headlines, the Bird steal to DJ layup, and they ask how the league slept on him so long. Older fans nod in recognition. They remember. They saw the possession-by-possession grind. They saw the way DJ gave even the greats a problem that couldn't be solved with a step-back jumper. Think about how Magic played. He read the floor faster than most players read a sentence. He found openings that didn't exist for anyone else. To make that man think, to keep him off balance, is like throwing sand into an engine built by a genius. The gears don't stop, but they grind. They groan. The timing is off just enough to matter. DJ took away comfort. He didn't lunge for the first pass. He shadowed the passing lane. He didn't overreact to the first fake. He sat on the counter. He met force with quiet resistance and, when necessary, matched size with core strength. Magic said DJ was big like I am and strong. That's rare. Most guards simply couldn't meet Magic's physicality without getting displaced. DJ didn't get displaced. He held ground. He pushed back. He made post-ups feel like wrestling matches and drives feel like tightrope. The real knife was anticipation. The second Magic leaned one way, DJ was already moving to steal the second option. That drains you. You stop playing free and start playing careful. And careful, in a finals knife fight, is usually too slow. When a legend names a rival as his toughest defender, he stamps that rival's legacy with permanence. Magic could have protected the brand. He could have gone with a safer name that requires no explanation, like Jordan. But he didn't. He honored what actually happened on the court. He put Dennis Johnson right where he belongs, at the summit of his personal challenge list. And it reframes a lot. It elevates DJ beyond the role of the glue guy and puts him at the center of the greatest rivalry of the era. It reminds you that the 1984 title wasn't just Bird shooting or McHale's footwork or Parrish's anchors. It was DJ's decision to take the fire straight to Magic and live with the burns. It also throws respect on Boston's front office for seeing what others didn't. A defender who could solve the league's deadliest equation. It's tempting to list trophies and leave it at that. But the DJ story carries a human ache you can't ignore. He rose from near anonymity into stardom. He did it with effort, intelligence, and a refusal to be out-toughed. He retired with more than 15 0 points and 5 0 assists, one of the select few to hit both numbers. He coached. He stayed in the game. And then suddenly he was gone cardiac arrest in 2007 while coaching a practice. 3 years later, the Hall finally called. The family smiled through tears. Bird glowed with pride but couldn't hide the disappointment that Dennis wasn't there. Magic called it exactly right. A celebration with a shadow. A long overdue honor that arrived a little too late. That's the part that lingers. DJ had the kind of career speech that could have been a masterclass in defense and humility. He would have thanked teammates, joked about that jumper, tipped his cap to the coaches who believed in a kid who barely saw the court in high school. He would have told the truth about what winning costs and why defense, real defense, wins you June. When we talk about Celtics-Lakers in the 80s, the posters and clips favor offense. Bird's smooth jumper, Magic's no-look passes, Kareem's skyhook, McHale's jabs. That's how highlights work. But championships don't get decided by posters. They get decided by adjustments. And the 1984 adjustment that matters most, wore number 3 and asked for Magic's assignment by name. DJ showed that you don't need to lead your team in scoring to lead your team to rings. You don't have to own the first 3 quarters if you own the last 30 seconds. You don't have to be the face of the franchise to become the soul of its toughest wins.
He was the deciding factor from the Celtics.
Some players bend the game to their will. DJ bent stars to the moment and made them sweat the details. The older we get from the 80s, the more important these testimonies become. Young fans won't always dig up grainy tapes or study all defensive team lists, but they will listen when Magic Johnson speaks on the record about who gave him nightmares. They will listen when Larry Bird eulogizes a teammate as the best he ever had. And they will listen when all those moments, Game 4 in 1984, the Bird steal to DJ layup in 1987, the Finals MVP in 1979, line up into a story that can't be argued away. If you love the modern game, here's the twist you didn't see coming. This isn't just a history lesson, it's a blueprint. The league today still gets decided by matchups like Magic versus DJ, where a single defender takes away comfort and forces greatness to play chess. It's why we still celebrate the rare perimeter defenders who change playoff series. It's why anticipation and strength matter as much as vertical and speed. And it's why a whisper from a legend, DJ was the toughest I faced, can echo louder than a scream. We started with a contradiction. Magic Johnson's toughest defender wasn't the GOAT scorer or the most famous wing. It was Dennis Johnson, a 3-time champion, 1979 Finals MVP, 9-time All-Defensive selection built on anticipation and strength. In the 1984 Finals, with LA up 2-1, DJ asked for the magic assignment in Game 4, helping Boston flip the series and win in 7. He didn't just contest shots, he disrupted tempo, turned Showtime cautious, and made a 5-time champion think twice when it mattered most. And just when you think it ends there, it deepens. Long after the confetti fell, Magic kept telling this truth, carving DJ's name into the rivalry's granite. That honesty gave a guardian permanence, the man in the shadows who stole momentum from basketball's brightest show, honored in 2010, 3 years after his passing. Here's the truth highlight reels miss. For every Showtime flicker, there's a stop. For every no-look dime, there's a hand in the lane. For every legend, there's a rival who drags them back to earth. Magic Johnson will always be Magic, but when he's asked about the toughest defender he ever faced, he points across the aisle to a Celtic who played with a fighter's heart and a tactician's brain, Dennis Johnson. Magic has said DJ was the greatest defensive player he went up against, not because of flashy steals, but because he forced hesitation. He read the second move before the first one finished. Larry Bird has long described DJ as the best teammate he ever had, the glue in a room full of giants. The film backs it up. In 1984, with Los Angeles up 2-1, DJ took the magic assignment in Game 4, Boston flipped the momentum, and the series stretched to 7. Boston's banner followed. The resume backs it up too. 3 championships, 79, 84, 86, 1979 Finals MVP, and 9 All-Defensive selections. History finally backed it up in 2010, when the Hall of Fame called his name 3 years after he passed. So the question is yours. If DJ could make Magic cautious, how many chapters of NBA history need rewriting for defenders who never got their flowers?